Welcome back to CryptoLawTV. I'm John Deaton, your host and founder. And I'm going to prove to you in this video why, even if you hate the company Ripple, and even if you despise the digital asset XRP, you better be praying that the SEC fails in what it is attempting to do. Now, notice that I didn't say that you should root for Ripple. I didn't say that you should root for XRP. I phrased it that you better hope that the SEC falls flat on its face in what it is attempting to do, in this case, SEC versus XRP. On December 22nd, 2020, the SEC filed its complaint against Ripple. And I sat down and I read it on Christmas Eve, December 24th. And after I read that complaint and read how broad it was and how it could be applied to every crypto asset, I began writing the writ of mandamus, which I filed 6 days after the SEC's complaint on January 1st, 2021, asking the SEC to only limit their claims against Ripple and the way Ripple sells XRP. And that's why I said the biggest misconception out there is that the SEC is only claiming that the way Ripple sells XRP, that it's a security. And that is simply not true. Because after my writ of mandamus, where I was saying, listen, you should only be going after Ripple and the way Ripple sells it, the SEC filed its first amended complaint on February 19th, 2021. It is document 46 that is filed in the Southern District, New York case docket. And let's review what the SEC says, not what John Deaton says, but let's review what the SEC says and why this is the most dangerous SEC enforcement action that I've personally ever read. But before we do that, for all the people out there who are against Ripple or against XRP, the Bitcoin maximalists out there or the Ethereum maximalists, I want to refer you to a 2015 video by Joseph Grunfest, a former SEC commissioner, and listen to what he said about Bitcoin in 2015 and whether or not the SEC believed Bitcoin was a security in and of itself. Take a listen.
We know that if you have a partnership and the partnership buys Bitcoin, then that partnership can be exactly like a partnership that buys a horse. And in that situation, your interest in the partnership that owns the Bitcoin, that's a security. That's not complicated at all. But the more interesting question that the courts and the SEC haven't yet looked at is the challenge of whether the Bitcoin itself is a security. And there, the answer, I think, is a resounding sometimes.
Now, many of you think that, John, that's 2015. A lot has changed. The SEC has evolved in those 5 to 6 years. Well, let's listen to what SEC Commissioner Hester Peirce said on the Thinking Crypto channel and whether or not the SEC still views the security as the token itself.
We tend, as the SEC, to talk about the token itself as being a security. And that's really a shorthand, because what the question really is so like a stock or a bond is a security, but a securities offering can include an investment contract, which is what Howie's all about. And so it's not that the thing itself, the Howie case, for example, was about orange groves. It's not that the orange groves themselves or the orange trees or the oranges were a security. What we were saying is the way that you sold those pieces of the orange grove, it was a securities offering because it was an investment of money. You were looking for profits based solely on the efforts of someone else. That's what a securities offering is all about. And so instead, what we've done now is we've started to say, well, the orange groves are kind of like the security. And so if you sell a piece of an orange grove as in a securities offering, then it continues to be a security, the Orange Grove piece itself. I think it's better if we really look at the offering as a whole and we don't try to treat the tokens as securities. And so that's where I start to think we need to take a step back and stop thinking about the token as a security itself.
Again, don't take John Deaton's words for it. Let's look at the complaint, and let's look at the very first sentence of the very first paragraph. And you can see the way they classify the token itself. From at least 2013 through the present, defendants sold over 14.6 billion units of a digital asset security, XRP. A digital asset security. Okay, so they're claiming that XRP itself, the token, is a security. You could say digital asset security, Bitcoin, digital asset security, Ethereum, digital asset security, XLM, and on and on and on. Look at how the SEC says from 2013 to the present. That means today's XRP, not 2013's, not 2015's, today. See, the biggest misconception of the entire SEC versus Ripple case is that many people believe that the SEC is only alleging that XRP is a security the way Ripple sells XRP. That is simply not true. Now let's look at paragraph 89. If this does not scare you, then I don't know what should. Paragraph 89. Defendants understood that XRP purchasers routinely resold XRP to other investors in the United States and other countries. How is that an allegation against Ripple? It's basically saying that because Ripple understood that XRP purchasers, XRP holders, investors would sell to other XRP investors, that's somehow an allegation being made, not just against Ripple, but against all of us. Let me ask you, do Bitcoin investors resell to other Bitcoin investors? Do Ethereum investors and holders sell to other Ethereum holders? Every single crypto asset on planet Earth fits that description in paragraph 89. Go to paragraph 169. XRP purchasers had a reasonable expectation of deriving profits by selling and buying XRP on these digital asset trading platforms. Can you say that about every single crypto asset on planet Earth? Yes. Do Bitcoin, Ethereum, Algo, XLM, gold, whatever commodity or asset could be stated in that paragraph? Yet the SEC is making these allegations as though something was done wrong. Paragraph 236, again on this speculation, right? It states that the primary use case for XRP today is speculative. The primary use case. Now, what is the primary use case for Bitcoin? What is the primary use case for Ethereum? Now, some of you are going to argue smart contracts. Some of you are going to argue with Bitcoin, it's a store of value. Okay, the point I'm making here is that at this point in time, every digital asset on planet Earth applies to paragraph 236 of this complaint. And if that doesn't scare you yet, wait till I get to the paragraphs following. Page 50 of this complaint, subsection 5, take a look. Economic reality dictates that XRP purchasers have no choice but to rely on Ripple's efforts for the success or failure of their investment. Can you not say that about every crypto asset? Ethereum purchasers aren't relying on the developers of Ethereum, the Ethereum Foundation, Vitalik Buterin, and all of that. If you move on to this these follow-up paragraphs, you get to paragraph 285 and 286. Look what it says. It says most, if not all, XRP investors simply lack the technical expertise and resources to do so. What's tragic here is that the XRP ledger actually is more useful for an ordinary person, someone like me who lacks technical experience. Anyone can run a node on the XRP ledger. Anyone. In fact, if you go to the XRP ledger, it shows you how to run a node. Okay, can you do that with Ethereum? Can you do that with Bitcoin? Is it so simple to do that with those crypto assets? The point I'm making is that the language being utilized in this complaint applies to all crypto assets, including Bitcoin. Remember, in 2015, Joseph Grunfeld said, sometimes Bitcoin is a security, sometimes it's not. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go to page 51. Subsection B, purchasers of XRP invested into a common enterprise. Now listen to this language, because the complaint starts getting more and more dangerous as each paragraph progresses. Paragraph 290, investors who purchased XRP in the offering. Remember, the offering includes today, invested into a common enterprise with other XRP purchasers as well as with Ripple. That same thing applies to every Bitcoin person every person who purchases Bitcoin is in a common enterprise with other Bitcoin purchasers. This language, they're basically saying that all XRP holders are in a common enterprise with other XRP holders and Ripple, because Ripple is an XRP holder. Okay, if that's not scaring you, I don't know what will. Maybe the next one that I go over, or the next couple I go after. Look at paragraph 291. My God, because XRP is fungible, the fortunes of XRP purchasers were and are tied to one another, and each depend on the success of Ripple's XRP strategy. They're saying because XRP itself is fungible and it's tied to Ripple, who owns XRP, therefore it's a common enterprise and a security. Can you not apply that same language to every single crypto asset? Paragraph 292, it literally says, in other words, the price of XRP rises and falls for XRP investors together and equally for all investors. Okay, let's do a little role play here. In other words, the price of Bitcoin rises and falls for Bitcoin investors together and equally for all investors. Let's try Ethereum. In other words, the price of Ethereum rises and falls for Ethereum investors together and equally for all investors. And I could go on and substitute every crypto asset for the word or the phrase XRP. I could substitute every single crypto asset for XRP in this paragraph, in this sentence. That's how dangerous the complaint is. If I haven't convinced you yet, let's move on to paragraph 293. And the last sentence of 293, look at this. The nature of XRP itself made it the common thread among Ripple, its management, and all other XRP holders. All other XRP holders. I could substitute every single crypto asset in this paragraph with XRP, and the language utilized by the Securities Exchange Commission would apply equally. Let's move on, because the SEC hasn't stopped there. We're going to go to paragraph 353 on page 62. But before we get to that, look at subsection 6 above paragraph 353. XRP's characteristics as constructed by Ripple reasonably fueled purchasers' expectations of profiting. You could say that about everything. Paragraph 353, the very nature of XRP in the market as constructed and promoted by Ripple compels reasonable XRP purchasers to view XRP as an investment. Let's substitute the very nature of Ethereum in the market as constructed and promoted by Vitalik Buterin and the other co-founders compels reasonable Ethereum purchasers to view Ethereum as an investment. Every single crypto asset on planet Earth applies to this paragraph. Page 66, subsection B, XRP are not currency under the federal securities laws. Ladies and gentlemen, that paragraph equally applies to every crypto asset. Okay? Bitcoin is not a currency under the federal securities laws. Ethereum is not a currency under the federal securities laws, so on and so on. But what is striking here is that in the paragraphs that follow, 279 and 280 through 282, the SEC brings up the FinCEN settlement of 2015, where one arm of the government did declare XRP virtual currency. But the SEC in these paragraphs state that because XRP is not legal tender, recognized by the sovereign of the United States of America, therefore it does not meet the definition of currency. Ladies and gentlemen, that applies to every crypto asset on planet Earth. If we look at paragraph 391, I call this the dangerous catch-all phrase that the SEC wants to throw in there. And look what it says. It says, even if some country were to recognize XRP as fiat currency, at some point in the future, that would result from defendants' significant entrepreneur and managerial efforts to date, and likely in the future, on which public investors expecting profit relied. Why is that so striking? Because they're saying, hey, XRP is not a currency today when we filed this complaint, but even if someone, AKA El Salvador or someone, were to recognize XRP as a currency, sound familiar? Well, we are going to say that that still applies because of Ripple's efforts or Satoshi Nakamoto's efforts or Vitalik Buterin's efforts or the Bitcoin Foundation's efforts or the Ethereum Foundation's efforts. Does not matter what defendant you put in this category. The point is the language they're using equally applies to every crypto asset. What we've just went over are not the words of John Deaton. They are the words of the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, where they state in their own words that XRP itself is the security. And if that doesn't convince you, if you think, well, it's just the way they read the complaint, it's not how they meant it. I've actually heard people or read people on Twitter say, well, that's not the way the SEC meant it. Then I'm going to show you one last thing. And that last thing is the SEC's opposition to XRP holders' motion to intervene. On page 24 of that motion, that objection by the SEC, they state that XRP, including the XRP in the secondary market, is a representation of an investment contract with Ripple. Read it for yourself. That means all XRP. That means XRP, no matter who you bought it from or where you bought it at. Whether you purchased it on Coinbase or Kraken and you never heard of Ripple and you never heard of Brad Garlinghouse, they're claiming your XRP is an unregistered security. And if the SEC is successful in arguing that the digital asset itself is a security, then all of crypto is in danger.